Hey everybody, I have been playing this right here along with the Outer Worlds, and you know what? They make me so much want to play for my Switch this, the BioShock collection. So that's what this particular Switch wish list is going to be. The BioShock games coming to the Switch. Now I've been playing Close to the Sun and also the Outer Worlds, and they are like the closest thing to BioShock that there is right now, which is saying a lot. In the case of Close to the Sun, you're going on this ship, the Helios, to save your sister, and so many of the corridors and all the stuff happening have this great BioShock feel. Yet the game is doing its own thing, so that's great. And then the other one is the Outer Worlds, and the Outer Worlds actually, after playing it and talking with some other people, I realized that it has a strong element of Fallout, the moral compass and decisions, and even some world building of Bioshock, and also the buddy system of Mass Effect. That's the best way to describe Outer Worlds. And all of that comes down to making one heck of a set of games, which is why we're going to talk about Bioshock and my fact that I think this will come to the Switch. At least I hope so. I mean, 2K, they haven't been showing it any love, but I think this game could be easily ported over and actually be pretty good. And as we can see, there's actually hold on one second. There's actually quite a bit in here, and I think somebody made it upside down. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So you can see here, BioShock 1 and 2 are on one disc, and then Infinity has its own disc. So it's actually pretty good, and it's I gotta say, it is an incredible game. It's worth every penny you will pay into it. And as you can just make out in the corner, there's the ultimate Songbird edition for the original release of Infinity. So let's jump into it. Do I think all three games would fit onto the system? Yes, no problem. Remember, these were on the PS3, the 360, and the PC originally back in that time period. So the Switch has no problem playing these games. I mean, if it can play Close to the Sun, which by the way is, even on the Switch, it's amazingly good to look at, the Switch has no problem. And plus, with the Scarlet and the PS5 on the way, I can definitely see maybe a little tiny 4K upgrade for these games coming to the new consoles at some point. It would be nice to have a really upgraded version, too, because that was one of the reasons I really loved this. But this is still a 1080p game. No real enhancements for the PS4 or the Xbox One, but they still look great in that, by the way. So, where do we begin? Let's start with the basic story, which is, for BioShock 1, you're Jack. You have just survived a plane crash, and you are now in this underwater city called Rapture. You've taken this sub ride from a lighthouse, and you're stuck in the war between, on one hand, the creator and visionary of Rapture, Andrew Ryan, and this other guy who is trying to liberate the city named Atlas. And in the middle of all that is a woman named Tannenbaum who's trying to save the Little Sisters. What made all the Bioshocks so great is that they have a moral compass dilemma. Do you sacrifice the innocent, or do you potentially sacrifice yourself to save them? It's a great little story development, and it works so good for those games. And I would love to see it continuing on and on. In Bioshock 2, it's actually a pre-sequel, believe it or not. Because on one hand, the game's actual opening is about a year before the events of the first game, and then it sets about 8 or 10 years after the events of the first game. So you start with a prequel, then you go full sequel, and you'll see the iconography of things that will happen, and if you look in the right spots, you'll even see things from the first game. So there's a lot of work that's gone into it. Bioshock 2 actually improved the combat system predominantly. You have a new villain, Sophia Lamb, and her family cult, this cult that calls themselves the Family, and they are hell-bent on controlling Rapture and doing these really weird experiments with the atoms. And your job as Delta, this big daddy who was once a normal person, is to save your little sister, now an adult, who's about to be used as a terrible experiment for her mother. So you've got to not only save her, but yourself in the process. And like I said, the moral compass has been improved upon, as well as the combat. It's not just the little sisters anymore that you can sacrifice or save. You can also kill certain very important characters, and it will affect the endings of both of these games. That was so cool. Um, it also was the first one in this series to introduce a standalone secondary game mode called Minerva's Den, its own three-part single-player outing. Was great, and it had much of the same stuff, and it had its own unique storyline. Then we get to Infinity, and Infinity is literally a complete change for the whole series. We're no longer in Rapture between the 1940s to the 70s. We're in this place called Columbia, which is a floating city in 1912, and it's an amazing place. And Columbia is in a very serious political, sort of racial tension kind of mode, and you get sent in to find this girl named Elizabeth, and all hell is breaking around you. In fact, you're a target. You're literally called the false shepherd. She's called the lamb, and you have Comstock trying to stop you. And it's clear he knows a lot about what's going on. And as you watch this game, you're like, holy crap, these people are crazy. It was so well done. And that game also had its own two-part spin-off series called Burial at Sea. Just great series all around. Now, are there any problems, I think, bringing this in? Especially after the big collector's edition? You know what I mean? This collection right here? Not really, in my opinion. If it can handle the Switch, the Switch can definitely outgun any PS3 or 360. But the finite job they did for the bigger consoles, that's where I think some of the problems could be. But in all fairness, I don't think it'll be a bad thing at all. In fact, I think it'll be a really good thing. First of all, I do think they could probably go full 1080p on this. The games were native 1080p when they were on the new systems, and PC players got theirs updated. The frame rate's the only thing I'm a little concerned about. I think personally, if they do a dynamic system for the resolution and go with 60 frames, which is what they did for these games, that would be totally great. Even if they just did a standard, stable 30 frames, I think we would have one hell of a game on our hands. It would be great because we could get these on the Switch to play them anywhere and everywhere. That would be great. Unfortunately, there would still be one casualty to the collection, and that would be BioShock 2. No matter what, and I've seen this with a lot of remasters that are coming out. I saw it with Ghostbusters. I saw it with BioShock and a couple of other games. The multiplayers are usually cut out if they're not really the main focus of the game. In this case, I could definitely see them being cut out quickly because they're not, a major part of the game. So that I understand. But I definitely think they can do a good job of a 30 frames stable and maybe 60 and definitely good high definition. It'll still look better in both in handheld and in and in TV mode better than the PS3 or 360 could ever dream of being, and that is saying a lot. In fact, if you want, these games right here, they actually, and I'm not kidding on this one, they are actually about only $20 now. So they're easy to get, they're worth it, 3 incredible games. So I highly recommend. I mean, look at that. BioShock, BioShock 2, BioShock Infinity. Sorry it's not focusing more. But, yeah, these are games worth owning. You should definitely do everything in your power to pick them up. And if the Switch can get them, we will be even better off. So, that's my Switch wish list right now. I can't even say the word right. Hit the like button. Put down your own thoughts. Hit the like bell. Subscribe. All that good stuff. Have a fun day, guys. I know I will. I'm going to play some Death Stranding. Ooh, that's going to be fun.